let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Come on into the Be Hood, the soul-fulfilling songs and conversations. All right, now, let me get here with my comments to see who's coming in so I can see who you are. Y'all better come on into the room and put your name in so I can see you. La, 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 la. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live and let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing. Oh, let me care for those around the world. Be careful of those around the world. Oh, let my steps reveal the path of peace. Let my steps reveal the path of peace. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. All right, hey Ben, you want to take it over now? Let me hear you play. Oh yeah, that feels better. That's Ben Dowling on piano. He's my special guest tonight. Come on into the room, y'all. Yeah, 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 yeah. In a holy, holy way. He gives me a major. Yes, babe. Greetings from Tuskegee. All right, come on into the room, everybody. As you load into the room, I'm just going to just welcome you and give some prayers up, bless up, and remember those who are standing in need of prayer today. Yeah. My name is Rickie Byars, and this is the Soul Fulfilling Songs and Conversations. And folks are coming in. I understand that this is an interesting time, 6 o'clock in the early evening. People are getting off of work, and some people are in the kitchen doing what you do there and are engaged. This is a very interesting time of day to have a podcast, but it's also a very commercial time. So we're thankful God is here with us, and thank you, God, for the idea that came right straight from life coach Ade and Ayanna Stokes for this program to be. So we are here in gratitude for this time together in our midweek gathering right here, where we get to just remember together who we are and who we represent. Thank you, God, for this time together. We are blessed here, now and forever. And we allow the blessing to be reflected in what we do, how we share our gifts, what it is that we bring to the world. That's what our conversations are about. Hearty conversations. And we just give thanks for the word of God that's right here in the midst of us, for the way of God that is made evident through our music, through our gifts, through our talents, through our voice. And we bless our beloved Ben Dowling, who's here with us this evening, and we're ready to roll in a holy, holy way. And we allow it to be, and so it is.
So it is.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Ben.
Hey. It's nice to see you. Nice to share a space with you.
Hey.
I've been a fan for a long, long time, even though I didn't put your name on my website personally. I did it intentionally, mind you. No, I mean,
It's
Rickie and I go
it's
back.
It's the ones that are closest to you.
You know, We go back, what, 30 years, something like that?
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Long time, boy. But I want to read a little bit about my friend Ben. I wanted to wait a little bit for people to come, but we'll be talking about Ben the whole evening because Ben is a complex being. He has so many different gifts. He's phenomenally talented and gifted, and our story, the one he left off his website. And why would he include this in his website? But if you go to my website, your name might show up. But
is mine on there?
No. But it used to be on there. I used to have your name and Al McKay and Rob McDonald. I used to have my band, musicians that I played with, because you were the people that I played with that were most important, most importantly on my journey, and we played so much together that you were a part of it. And then I noticed that not one person whose name I had on my bio, not one, had my name on their bios, and I was like, well, I don't want to take them out to be spiteful, but perhaps there were other things that I could include that would be beneficial for people to know, but I'm going to talk about you tonight in a holy, holy highway, because you were very much a part of the sound of Agape. You were one of the earlier architects who showed up to make that music that I wrote special, make it sound good. That was a blessing. So I'm going to read this as people come on into the room. They're coming in. You rock, Ben. Look, see, Deanna's like, we keeping it real around here. I have a boyfriend who can really play. And then she didn't say that one time. She said that a lot of times. Rickie, I have a boyfriend who can really play. Such were the words of a spirited second soprano in the Agape Choir, Laurie Riley, who pitched her boyfriend's musical gifts to Rickie, that's me, more than a couple of times. When I finally allowed Riley's boyfriend a chance to play at a concert up in the Redlands without any audition, but I needed a piano player really bad. When I finally allowed Ben a chance to play, I discovered that he could really, really play. He could also produce, compose, orchestrate, and would bring his unique signature to the works of other great artists as well. But beyond them, the other great artists, he would bring his unique signature to the songs that I composed at Agape. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. He made them songs rock. Now he was part of, there were a lot of very distinguished piano players. Ben, you guys were so great, and we were all around each other so naturally. I know how we can forget and maybe not include, you know what I mean? Because we were family. We were like family, and eventually, it was kind of at first, but but during the last 10 years alone, Ben Dowling has performed at some of the most prestigious venues in the world. From the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland to the Blue Note nightclub scene in Tokyo, to New York's Lincoln Center, to the Berlin Philharmonic, to the Greek Theater, which you did with us.
I did.
And the Hollywood Bowl in L.A., a musician's musician. He was deeply involved in the development of modern sound synthesis. He helped to create the synthesizers. During his tenure with Korg in the late 80s and the early 90s, he developed the history-making M1. You did? Mm-hmm. Man, I know you must have one around there you can give me. Wave station.
I don't. No, I don't.
I don't. My baby grandson, one of his favorite things to say is, I do.
Nicely sung.
I do. The Oasis synths. Returning from high-tech to music, Ben has served as a producer and music director for Grammy and Academy Award-winning artists. Joe Zawinul, he worked for years with Al McKay's Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is like a tribute band, but it's hardly a tribute because Al McKay was one of the writers. But it is a tribute what they do with that music. It's incredible. He also penned the Whispers' new gospel hit, Thou Art With Me, and Saida Garrett's a father's love. You did that?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Ben. And he continues to astound with his recent collaborations with Kenny Loggins. And, you know, he's done so many things. He produced a beautiful album on Charles Holt, an amazing one for Esther Nicholson, which her version of Make Me Stronger is still on my top 10.
Oh, that's so
Not my
sweet.
top 2 of my faves. My top 3. My number 1 is mine, of course.
Imagine that. But you know, what a song. And you know, I mean, you talk about how we honored your music. We were honored to play it. I mean, you have, what is that song? I mean, and
In my pain. That's what he Yeah, you sing it. There inside.
I
Yeah.
never remembered the word.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what's interesting to me is harmonically how well balanced you are, because, you know, there are a lot of people that can, you know, they get a little complicated.
Mhm.
And you have that, but you also have the simplicity of beautiful, simple, direct, you know. What is that? You know.
Oh yeah, you're talking about yeah.
I mean, you know, so you mix it up like that, which I've always loved, and so we've been honored, and then the message of the music and its intention is so important to opening the musical heart, you know.
Well, you wrote this from your beautiful website. By the way, your website is beautiful.
Oh,
And that his website is bendowling.com. Ben believes that people don't visit websites, but this group does. My group does. You know, I have an interesting following. You know, I have an interesting idea about the world. My world is not about the huge. My world is about the intimate and the real. You know, and that's what's that sings to me. That sings to me. That's what's important
I
to
think
me.
that's the right thing. I think, you know, is that we need to. Everybody's interested in mass market, and why would they be so attached to that? You know, unless it's for acquisition purposes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We need to really relate to is who are those special people who will be touched by the message we have here to share. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we have beautiful people on tonight that are sending you so much love.
Oh,
Yeah, Maura Hoffman is on. Warm hugs to Ben and Maria Klearkopf, Mardell. I mean, folks are coming in. So, oh, wow. A lot of people are in already. Chef Laurie, Narinjan Yee, Iabodi Jackson, Karen, Kathy O'Barrow, Elaine Johnson, Janice Morel, Taliba. Hey, now. It must be cold out there in Minnesota, or was it that Missouri? Keith Fenelson. Good evening, Rickie and Ben. Cheryl Peterson. Get on with your bad self, Ben and Rickie. John LeBoy on from Hawaii. Sharon, Judy Jackson, Sharon Smith, Sharon Ann Smith, Robin Green. Yes. Hey, Marion. Oh, wow. So people are coming on in. And they'll, is that Deborah Lemon? Oh, my God. That's from back in the day. Patricia Kingery. Hi, Patricia. Hi. Elaine Johnson. Craig Hamilton. So come on in. Lots of folk who love you are on with us right now. But Ben, this is a quote from Ben Dowling. Music is a spiritual practice for me, a metaphysical training to be in the moment in the most profound way, to be in the moment in the most profound way. I try and bring that awareness and spaciousness to all that I do, whether it is improvising, composing, or finding the inner artist and bringing that out in recording. You know, I feel like when I first heard you play, you had found the space. You had the space. We had a funny conversation before I heard you play. Like, I was like, who is this guy?
Oh, I know.
Who is this headstrong person think they know everything? It was like, and I have like a moon in Aquarius, and this is Aquarius. We were like, beep, but it was like halfway polite, but it was like, I don't really care. We really should be polite right now, but it's just like, we got this concert to do, and I just
learned to get along. Is basically what happened.
What'd you say, Ben? What'd you say?
We learned to get along.
We learned. Man, a woman music and arts, a woman director, she got her hands filled, especially with the kind of players we had, and they were all great and all very much individuals. But what was delicious was when we would play. When we would play, we would go beyond the rubs. As a matter of fact, we would pray before we played, so that when we entered into that field, it was ministry. It was ministry. Everybody bringing their best. It's like everybody's got their ingredients. We got the Dowling spice over here, and we have the Iaji Hampton spice over here, the Ndugu Chancellor spice here, the Rob McDonald spice here, the Cal Bennett spice over here, and the Al McKay spice over here, And when Al came, I was like, oh my God. I was just blown away that he loved it so much, that that he loved being there. But of course he did.
To this day, he says, I loved showing up at 4:45 in the morning with Stephen Bray and Ben Dowling, and the three of us would wait for the other players to show up. But he loved it, and it was so important to him, and still is important to him. And I just want to mention that.
Yeah, thank you. The last time I saw Al McKay was at Ndugu Chancellor's memorial service. I remember. And it was something, to see all the people that were there that were supposed to be so great, and they were great. Mm-hmm. The people there were great. But I was looking at all of that, and I was thinking, like, man, Ndugu loved playing at Agape so much. He loved being in that band so much. That with all those superstars, so to speak, that were there doing what they did, and the choir, and the singers that were all, it's like there was another part of Ndugu that totally belonged to that music that was on the other side, and Al was there. You were there, just bearing witness to what we were together in a band, what we created together in sound. And I don't know if you know, but it's still out there. Every CD that people have that they love to hear, it's amazing. And you're playing on a whole lot of that music.
Well, and a lot of it is your music and came from your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
And that's so special.
And where did your music come from, Ben?
I think I try to create a space. I like to create harmonic space, and that calls melody forth. You once have a great quote. Here's a Rickie Byars quote for you. Melody comes from God.
Mm-hmm.
And what I take that to mean is that you're led to discover the next note, the next phrase, and so I try to set a context for it to happen within, and that's something that I had to learn how to have some patience with. That sometimes you just wait, and the time is not there, and it's okay. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. We're so interested in filling the space, and music today is so dense. It's like more and more density, more action, more this, more this, more blah, 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 blah. There's not a lot of space, and so for me, I guess that's where the music comes from for me, is to create a space. And it doesn't matter if it's I mean, to me, the piano is just so special for that. You know.
Is that the
It
piano
is
you
a-
wanted? Wait a minute, is that the piano you wanted to give me?
No, this is not the one I went. This is my dream piano, my 7-foot piano.
Play a little bit of Use Me on that. I just want to hear you play Use Me a little bit. You're all about as you show me all that I must do. Hey, come on now. They're going like, play, Ben. Play. We having church in here. Susan Love said, we having church in here. Craig Hamilton said, love it. Your music is amazing, Giuseppe. You know, so they're saying some very kind and wonderful things over here.
Sweet.
But that is real. It's real, though. You know, and it's one thing to hear the music that's part of our spiritual practice, you know, played so beautifully by you, your fingers, everything. You know, you're wonderful, Ben, you know.
Oh, well, thank you. You're wonderful too. We
Oh,
should talk about
you're
for
just
a
saying
while.
that because it's true. Now check it out. But where's my part that I had down here? You know, because I had a very important thing to say. Oh yeah. What? Oh yeah. Okay, so Ben,
Yes, ma'am.
when we were younger, not to younger, just meeting at Agape, but younger people. When you were younger, was your journey? Was it an easy road for you? How did it go? Like in your 20s and 30s, that would lead you to Agape.
Wow. I was full of myself. I was self-centered. I was not kind, you know, and you know, I was very intentional. I was a straight ahead jazz player, you know. So my whole attitude was, you know, I'm gonna show you what it is, you know, and I think I did the Landmark Forum, and it sort of opened me up to listen more carefully, you know, because I wasn't much of a listener, you know. I was there to tell everybody the way it was, and I was such an authority. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
She says, "Yeah, I saw that part of you. Still do." But
Nah.
no. So then the first time I came to Agape and I heard Reverend Nirvana speak and I heard Michael speak, and I felt the community, and I was like, I so miss this. And I'd never really had it. I was raised as a Quaker, so we had friends meetings and everything was silent, and it was, you know, the kids kind of did their own thing and the adults were very adult and so forth. But as soon as it was done, I was like, okay, I'm in. If the stuff is going to hit the fan, I want to be standing with y'all. And so my ears were opened enough to be able to listen and not just react to the concept of God. I think the idea of infinite creativity pouring itself forth as everything in the universe just makes sense on a natural level and on a creative level, and that's really what opened me up. And the music, of course, the music just, you know, who comes up with, you know, what is that?
about this? My soul magnifies the Lord, yeah. Hey. God's love redefines my existence, yeah. God's peace resurrects my life, yes. God's joy.
But it's when you go into that, when you go into that section, that B section, and you surprise us. God's that thing, you know?
Yeah. You know, I think, like what you were saying about music being a spiritual practice, it absolutely is a spiritual practice for me. You know, can y'all hold on for just a minute? I'm going to mute. Ben, say anything you want to say.
Oh, good.
Yeah, George is cooking.
Oh, good.
And they're talking in the kitchen.
That's all right.
You know, but the music is my spiritual practice. You know, and when I finally got that's okay. Like sometimes people go like, you know, well, what's your spiritual practice? Well, I meditate. It's like, well, I sing.
Yeah.
I sing before going into meditation. You know, I sing as
your meditation.
As my meditation, but I do sit in the silence. I've learned how to do that. I had to learn that I had to learn how not to judge my mind. You know, because God put these brilliant minds inside of us that want to express, that want to imagine, that want to create. You know, and now I know that that it will be there, that I don't lose anything by just breathing and being still, but allowing the music to take me there and sometimes to bring me out. You know, what's your spiritual practice like, Ben? Your music is your spiritual practice.
Totally is. You know, I also think that silence is important. Like, music is built on top of silence.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, you know, by putting parameters on the auditory space, we can create a sense of forever, you know what I mean? So it's just toning. There's a reason why they have, you know, the sitar and the Indian instruments that have a drone. It sort of creates space for me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Let me see. How can I exit the solo layout?
Yeah. I feel like I'm on TV or something.
I was trying to yeah. You know, when you were playing, when you first started with the drone and you were talking about the drone and the sound, I have a family, my son and his family, they use drones and tones to calm the children and to help them to sleep. And I was about to say I didn't do that, but I did do that when my children were younger, but I didn't play what they're playing. I would play Stanley Cowell's Equipoise. You know, I would play, you know, music medicine. by uh, Bobby McFerrin. I would, I'd play Milton Nascimento.
Oh yeah.
I just would, yeah, so they would go to sleep hearing that kind of music.
Boy, you clearly encoded your kids with a rich source of brilliant music.
But my son is not. They're not, because it's not just him. It's his wife and what they choose to do with music. But they have this music that is just like, and I don't do well with it.
It's not for everybody, right?
Yeah, I don't do well with ambient. Sometimes it's been called white noise, but it's like, but I know that she lived close to a freeway, growing up. So having that sound helps her, and it helps the children to sleep. But when I was there, and I had a funny accident, and so I got my hand hurting, and I got the sound up, and it was like it took me a moment to actually go to sleep, because I had the throbbing from the hand, and I had to change my relationship to that. And then there was the music, and then I went to sleep. But the next day, when I said, is there any way for the music to come out in my room so that I don't hear it?
So it's throughout the whole house, huh?
Yeah, because it's throughout the whole house, because nobody has the problem. Everybody was okay with it.
Has adapted, yeah.
They've adapted and chose it. But I value the silence, and most of the time in my home, I'm not playing my music, your music, Ming's, anybody's. It's the silence.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in silence. And
you do?
Walking and so forth. Yeah, I can only take so much, and I need to. And also we grew up in a different kind of a culture where we actually made listening to music was an affirmative action. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was not something that was passive, where we would have it in the background. It was like, we're going to listen to some Ornette Coleman right now, and you listen to some Ornette Coleman, and that was. It's a different focus today. Everybody is surrounded by so much, sensory input. It's so high, and I think we need to slow it down. So yeah, I spend an awful lot of time walking and in silence and reading and stuff like that. And I don't like to have music in the background for some reason. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not judging it. It's just that's not right for me.
Yeah. Well, I think because we're composers too, and active composers. So so when it's just, and we're, you got that Aquarian thing, I got my Pisces and my Libra and everything. Lynn Beale says the only way she stayed in that darn MRI machine was because every choir song I was singing in my mind, because every choir song she was singing in her mind, When the River's Rising. So she had a background going on in her mind.
Yeah. And Laurie Riley, as you knew her, was, the music was so important for her.
Oh, can we talk just a little bit about Riley? Laurie Riley was the genius who brought this genius to my attention, and they were a couple, and soon they would get married. What year did you guys get married?
94.
Really?
Yeah. 94.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like I met you in 1990. The numbers run together.
93, I think, is when I first met you. Yeah.
Wow. Well, and then a year later, I sang at your wedding?
I think so.
No, I did sing at your wedding.
I know that.
Y'all don't want us to get silly. We can get silly, But yeah. So Riley was a musician also, and a composer and
very
songwriter.
Good pianist, actually, yeah.
I never got to hear Riley play. So tell me now, Riley and Ben were together for years and years. They have a beautiful daughter whose name is Sarah. How old is Sarah now?
27.
Ooh.
I know.
How does that happen?
I know. I just still remember her here,
Man,
Yeah, wonderful.
she's 27 and brilliant.
And brilliant. And
Yeah.
beautiful. And, oh, my goodness.
So when things change and shift, because I talked about the times they are changing, your life changed radically. Well, years ago when Riley was diagnosed with MS, and year after year, you know, the disease would change her. And she used to be one of my favorite choir members because Riley would be kicking. I think she told me she used to dance with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, she sure did. I know.
She wasn't lying, huh?
No, I don't know. I wasn't there, but we have the Woodstock tickets to prove it, I guess. You know.
She was something, and she was also a devoted and very dedicated member of the Agape Choir.
Totally
And could get on my last nerve because she had perfect pitch, you know.
Nah, but good relative pitch, yeah.
Well, she, you know, this was good relative.
She didn't remember. She remembered her parts really well.
Yeah, she did. And
she would like, no, Rickie, wrong note.
And then she would go like, they are singing that part so flat. You know, she would course correct me. And I love Riley. I love her memory. I love her participation. And Riley passed on to the invisible in 1922.
2022 in December. Yeah.
In December of 1922. And here we are in 1924. And I just want to ask, how are you doing, Ben?
I'm good. I met an old friend, Narinjan, who is actually on this call. We knew each other 50 years ago. And we were friends for all this time. And we reconnected about 9 months ago, I guess, 8 or 9 months ago.
Mm.
And I'm, you know, she gets all the jokes. I don't have to explain who Eric
Narinja, you
Dolphy
get
was.
the jokes.
You know? You know, and you're like, oh, no, no, he was an alto player. Oh, yeah, alto is one of those, it's a saxophone, you know the thing that, never mind.
Hey, man, and you know, I can feel that Laurie Riley is very happy for you.
Yeah,
happy.
no, I think she would be totally jazzed by it.
Yes.
Yeah. There she is.
Hey, now. Yeah. And so you've been living in the Valley for many, many years.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm preparing to sell my house and move up to the Bay Area. So that's what I'm in the process of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was cool that Corey Henry was able to take that piano.
Look at here, folks on the line. They don't even know. Ben, who Corey is. Do you guys? But hey, if you know who Corey Henry is, say I know who Corey Henry is. If you don't know, don't say I know who Corey Henry is. Dr. B said 1922 and 24. Awesome. I don't know what that means, Lulu. Yeah. Aisha, Ben, I'm so happy for you. Aisha Mason.
One of my spiritual teachers, Aisha. Just such an important voice in our community.
It's a beautiful thing to go on, to move on.
I've sort of been dealing with like choice is going to come, and either we make it or it makes it. And I just opting to make a change.
Wait a minute, go back. He said choice is going to come. And
change is going to come.
Change is going to come.
Yeah,
okay.
And either we choose it or we are chosen by it, you know. Yeah. So mixed my words up.
Well, no, that's beautiful. Either way, but I like the other way too. That was good. The Bay Area will be blessed. That's right, Maura. And the Bay Area is going to be blessed this weekend because I'm going to be up there, bam, at the East Bay Church of Religious Science. They haven't changed to the Centers for Spiritual Living yet, but it is a powerful church with the emeritus minister being Reverend Eloise Oliver, and the new minister that's coming on. Her installation is this weekend. Her name is Reverend Derica Blackman. and young minister coming on, filling those shoes. Well, actually, Reverend E has been gone for a while, but Derica is incredible, and so we're just happy. And Cal Bennett is up here, it's like, all right, it in. So Derica is going to be installed this Saturday and Sunday, so I will be there for their Sunday service and also for the installation service. Karen Neumann, if you are listening, I apologize that I haven't gotten back to you. It's not that I'm shunning you. It's just that I just forgot, and I got a lot going on here. But I hope to see you guys this weekend if you can come over to the Bay Area. The installation is an RSVP, so you need to RSVP for that event. But the church service is, I believe, begins at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and you're welcome to come to the East Bay Church of Religious Science.
What I want to know is, are you going to sing?
I'm going to sing. You know I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing. I'm going, I love that this minister wanted, she said she knew when she would be installed, she wanted me to be there.
Sweet.
Yeah, installations are very interesting. When you were playing earlier, and the first thing you played when you touched the piano was quite obvious, that you can play, that you can really play. And when at Michael Beckwith's installation, there was a piano player that was really great. His name was Randy Randolph, and he played for all the other singers that came up there. And we were last on the program. Some folks know this story. We were the last ones, the little group that I had been working with. This was 1988.
Ooh.
I had been at Agape for 6 months and had been enrolled in creating a little ensemble to sing at the installation with Debbie Gale, Patty Ballard, was and the group was called the Songbirds. There was four or five singers, and so they were good, but I would have opened the program with us. I wouldn't have closed with us, And when Randy Randolph played, I was sweating bullets because I had a real problem with folks who could read music and play really beautiful. It's like I knew my abilities, but I felt like that you were better. I felt like you were that everybody was a better musician than I was. That I wasn't really, I didn't have lessons. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. I didn't have a piano. Blah blah blah. And so at that installation was when God took me up. And it was when Terry Bradford. I don't know if you remember Terry Bradford,
sure.
but it was my first time hearing Terry Bradford. He hadn't won Star Search yet, and he sang "If You Believe," but the way he sang it was extraordinary.
Every performance he did was extraordinary.
He was
he
incredible.
Would bring it for the moment. It was like, you were breathless.
Yeah.
When he sang.
Yeah, it was just like crazy, but now I'm sweating bullets. I'm nervous, and I won't tell the backstory because the subtext of this was also hard, because I was in a marriage. It was just hard. And I had to bring the kids to my gig. He took the car. Fortunately, B.T. Taylor called me and said, for some reason, Spirit is telling me to call you. Can I help you today in any way? Yes, I need a ride, And he takes me there. So anyway, I'm sweating bullets, and Terry Bradford begins to sing, "If you believe in yourself, you'll know." And that's when the Spirit took me out of my body. Yeah. And it was Michael's installation, you hear me? But it was my ordination. They took me up and just ministered to me. The Spirit of the living God cleared my head and got me clear about who I came to be. It was like, we have this for you. And it was a 360-degree panoramic view of a world. And the skies were clear and everything was beautiful. This is what we have for you. You make these decisions for your life based on how you feel about yourself. But this is how we feel about you. This is how we love you. And, and in the world, what was happening was that I was just weeping. And the songbirds were holding me as Terry Bradford singing. And so I come back down out of this timeless zone. I'm supposed to be interviewing you. I don't know. I'm going on. But I come out of this timeless zone, and he's ending the song, "Believe in yourself as God believes in you." and he hits a high note, and it was the beginning of my life. And after that, I didn't care who was playing the piano. It didn't matter who came. You know, it would be Bobby Lyle that would tell me, "You don't know, but you really got to feel, Ricky." You know, but it was it would be.
Al McKay said the same thing.
You know, it's like you got to
She just
feel.
got to feel on it.
But I didn't know what that meant, you know. But now I understand it, you know. You have a feel, and then you got all this talent and dexterity that sometimes with musicians they get a little, you know, what's the word? Intimidated. That was never me, you know.
Just so you know, I mean, I couldn't read for anything. I was a decoder. I would go, oh, okay, it's a D, and then
Really?
oh yeah. I mean, so all of my classical playing was, you know, I mean, mostly learned by ear was how I did it, and then.
No wonder you were acting so strange when I met you the first time.
Well, I was strange.
Right. I was too. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, you got a permission structure from the divine though. at Terry Bradford's thing. No, I was a decoder. I couldn't, you know, it was like
You like Georgia?
And actually, in a lot of ways, working with you, because you threw charts up in front of me, and I was like, oh, jeez, okay, so okay, I can read the chord. 3, 4, oh, you know, that was what I could do, and then gradually, as we did it, you know, it just became more natural. And you know, at first, you're a little staid with it. You know, you're like, you're it's not flowing. You know what I mean? But the really good readers are the ones who can, you know, just bring that beautiful air to their performance.
Sometimes, you know, what I found with you is that your heart brought it. You know, and I know some people who are really good readers, but they don't always touch my heart. You know.
But there are some players that have that capability.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
and particularly here in Los Angeles, it's like, I mean, there are aliens out here. You know.
Well, I got to hear that they're going to open my heart, because my heart is a little different. You know, what I'm listening for and listening with is a prayer.
Listening
you know,
from.
Yeah, you know, I'm hearing, I'm looking for that prayerful place. That's why, you know, when Al McKay came in, I was like, yeah, it wasn't that he was just Al McKay. It was just his feeling.
Oh my God.
About it. Hey, we got a great artist in here, Charles Holt. Are you in? Is Charles Holt in the room? There's Charles Holt.
Charles, how are you, man?
Hey, Ben. Rickie, hey.
Hey. Yeah, I asked Charles to come on in, you know, so that I wanted to ask you a question, Charles, about Ben Dowling. What was the most unique thing about Ben's production his way of putting your music together that you remember?
What Ben made me feel was Ben made me feel supported. I had tried to do an album before I left New York, and I had a great guy who was producing me. He was an outstanding bass player and had played bass with. I mean, he's incredible, and he was in the pit of the Lion King. And I remember asking him if he would kind of mentor me, tutor me, because I wanted to do an album, and it was something I think he was trying to make me perfect in the way that he thought perfection should be, and I'm not a perfect singer.
Who says who?
But
listen, nobody sang tapping more perfect than you do, baby.
But the thing that I learned with Ben, and especially at Agape, and perhaps it was tapping that opened me up most, was that I could surrender and allow whatever it was to come to me first and then through me, and it would perfect whatever situation and condition and atmosphere we had in front of us. And that was, I always felt safe with Ben. And I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that I want to play with. I've played with brilliant musicians.
Name some of them.
Well, I can't because I mean I can't. I mean, there's some
See,
people.
see
There's
how
some
see
people.
how they look over you, Ben. I'm sitting right up here. He didn't even say Rickie.
Well, the reason. Well, what I was getting ready to say is I played with some brilliant musicians who did not have the heart. They were not surrendered. They weren't. And so when I asked God, I said, God, I've played with the quote unquote the best because I wanted to play with the best. I said, but there is something more than musicianship. There is something more than just being able to play beautifully. And I said, I want to play with people who I want to play with people who love you. I want to play with people who revere the music and they understand that the music is not theirs. It comes through them. And so that's what, while I was working with Ben, I came to understand, wow, he really supports me and I trust his playing. So I don't have to think. I don't have to think. I can just let the music sing me.
Hey, and it did. That album, the name of the album, let's tell us about your album, I Am.
Yeah, I Am. Ben produced that.
That's the one you produced, Ben, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I was on the road for some of that, and Ben had the background singers, Brenda Lee Yeager, and I think Cece was another young lady that came in.
Now
And
you're frozen now, Charles, for some reason.
I am?
Yeah, but we can still hear you.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And we got to move on, but go on.
But so yeah, he would have them come in, and I would be on the road, and Ben would say, "Okay, just sing, just send me a sample of the vocal. Just send me a sample of the vocal." And it was great. I said, "I don't have to be there for everything." And said, "Well, you have to come in and lay the final vocal, but when you come in, we'll have the background vocals, and you'll be able to hear all of that." I knew nothing about that, so to have that tutelage, I really appreciate you, Ben. For I appreciate you for trusting me with what you've come to share.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that every artist and Charles is an artist. Is not
Yes, he
just
is.
a singer. He's an
That's
artist.
right. That's right.
They have a point of view, and the really important thing to do is to discover what is it that this voice can say that no other voice can say, and because that's what gives an artist room to express, But I love you, Charles, and I'm so glad to see you. It's such a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
guys
good to see you
are
too.
you guys frozen, or is it just me?
You're frozen, Rickie.
I'm frozen. Okay, so y'all keep talking. I'm gonna leave and come back in really quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Take it away, Ben.
So where are you living now, Charles?
I'm not living anywhere. I gave my keys to my the landlord 2 weeks from today. Not 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks ago. And so this last summer, I said, okay, I'm listening, God, and it's time for me to, I want to create an actual physical space for emotional literacy with youth.
Nice.
And I'm going to Raleigh, North Carolina. I want to go back south, and we'll see if Raleigh is the place where I stay for a while, but I wanted to go somewhere different. I've chosen Raleigh, so we're going to have a great space for youth in not musical theater, but using musical theater and process drama to find their emotional brand, their emotional grounding. And I have a curriculum that I've written, so I'm ready to do that work. It's just a priority change, but it's big, and it's the biggest I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for it because I'm trusting God.
Yeah.
Well, great to see you, my friend.
Thank you. You too, Ben.
Yeah, man.
And Ben is celebrating the release of his song "Path of Peace." Okay, "Path of Peace" is available. Tell us about "Path of Peace."
So I learned that there was this new
Thank you,
ability to mix music in surround that can be listened to on a streaming service. So I took the Path of Peace and remixed it in this environment. Again, space, remember I talked about spatial things, that's kind of my thing. And so that it just got released today on all the streaming services. So hopefully if you're out and about, it's the Path of Peace 360, standing for 360 degrees.
Is that the Path of Peace 360?
The Path of Peace 360 is what it's called, yeah. So
Wow.
it's on all the streaming stuff as
Yeah.
of today.
Hey, congratulations.
Well, thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And more on the way. I really wanted to, I love what Rickie's doing with these salons, basically, where we talk about ideas and we talk about spirit and we talk about music and creativity. And I just, I want to do some of that, you know.
Well, you're great. You know, you're
and
great.
We're going to figure out how to do this so that we can play.
Yeah, well, I got my stuff. So we're
That's what I
gonna fix it up so that we can jam together. And,
Yay.
yeah, we're gonna do it. I already got my stuff loaded in, and now everybody who comes in has to come through that platform.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect anything that we're doing here. You guys will still be Facebook and YouTube, but we'll be streaming through another platform, and so that we can play together. Jessica Susalik is with us. Path of Peace. Yes, that's right. Leslie Green. Oh, by the way, what was it? It was like 11 days ago. The Rickie's Spring Revival event went live, and registration is open now. The QR codes have been fixed. Everything is good. So you can go to rickiebyars.org to sign up for this retreat that's happening in the Blue Ridge Mountains, a soulful, fun retreat. It's going to be so good. Georgia Ann is coming. Rob McDonald, Quinn Fontaine, a brilliant comedian and therapist. I mean, he's just really good at what he does. John Stringer, myself. Ming is trying to come. He's going to have to get his own ticket. He said, I got flight miles. I say, okay, Ming. Here's a shout out to Ming Freeman, Nikki Harris, who's in St. Thomas. I think they're going to be meeting up on the same cruise ship and wowing people and doing what they do. But, you know, to see these musicians doing what they do, like Charles is singing and doing, does, like Ben said, he does more than sing. He writes curriculum, he acts, he just is extraordinary. Do you have a website, Charles?
I do. It is theopenframesproject.org.
Okay, theopenframesproject.org. You can find more about what Charles is doing, bendowling.com. And Aisha Mason your retreat location looks so luscious. Yes, it is, baby. I mean, I'm going to the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's my home state, North Carolina. And people are happy that I'm coming back there to do some things. So they're coming. And we're going to rock. It's going to be like Soul Train in the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be like Soul Train in the Blue Ridge Mountains, man. That lake will never be the same.
Nope, it will not.
That lake. And let me see, if I don't know if the Pebble Ministry is on, or any of or Robert or Tim Pace and Denise, I'm going to answer you guys about the T-shirts. My fingers were kind of interesting for a while, and I had to lay off of typing, but now I'm much better, and I can play, so it's going to be really great this weekend. Do we have time for me to tell you what happened? This is the Regassa T-shirts. Let's just say Mighty Mouse showed up in me, and I went to rescue a dog that didn't need rescuing, and he kind of slingshotted me over. But I went down a hill, but fortunately, all I did was bruise the top part of my hand. I didn't break my leg. I didn't break my arm. I didn't dislocate my shoulder. I didn't crack any ribs. A lot could have happened there because the dog was big and the dog is very strong, but it did not happen. And so I'm just really thankful that it wasn't my time to do anything. But remember, you don't have to save a dog.
They're going to save themselves.
They will save themselves. Well, actually, I thought she was going to attack this other lady dog, but it was just like I'm trying to hold her back, but I never could have done it anyway, and it wasn't mine to do. But it had been a long time since I was around the dog, and I just kind of overreacted my first day. But it was all right. It was a learning experience. And we have Lynn Beal, who's healing from being in a car in a collision on the freeway, where she injured five of her ribs. She broke five ribs, and her car was totaled. But she is better today. She's better today. That happened on Saturday. So she's better today. So we're thankful for the way people are healing. Jackie Freeman and anybody else that's been having, a physical journey, to be getting better. Hey, may that journey continue to treat you well, and that you keep looking at the face of God. Keep looking at God. Hey, Sue, put yourself in the frame so that we can thank you for your incredible production tonight.
Oh, incredible. Wow.
Well,
Okay.
how did you like the show?
Whew. It was smoking and on fire. I mean, Ben I've never heard you play like that, Ben. I mean, just like, well, it must be the magic of Soul Fulfilling. I don't know.
I think so.
And Charles, I've been thinking about you. So, yeah.
Hey, Sue, thank you.
It was a great show. Lots of good information and stories. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. And one more thing I want to say about the T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt, just hit me up at rickiebyars@gmail.com, and I'll send you the T-shirts now so that you can look at it and say, I want this, I want that. And what I do is I ship them out, and then I let you know how much they are by seeing how much the shipping costs were. So that's why I'm doing it that way. It's the slow way, the country way, but it's fun too. And I get to talk to you guys and see how you're doing and hear all the great things you got to say to me. So, Robin Green, did you like your T-shirt? Because you got your stuff. I wonder how you liked it. Dorcas Gray. Hey, Dorcas, thanks for coming on. Reese, everybody who joined us tonight, my dear friend Maxine, and all the people from the B Hood. Just know that this coming Sunday, no devotional. So if you didn't see it last week, you need to look at it, okay, and kind of visit some of the old ones, and we will return the following Sunday. And next week, there will be Soul Fulfilling next week. So I think I go solo next week. I got to see. Or it might be a surprise guest that might join me. But for whatever happens, it's going to be fresh and real. Hey, thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charles.
Oh, yay. You're welcome. All right.
Hey, give me a closing prayer, Ben.
So we stop for a moment and we remember that there is a silence that surrounds us. There is a melody that is brought forth from that space. That there is no need to hurry or to effort, that it's already been given. So I bless this time together. I bless Rickie and Charles and Sue and everyone who participated in bringing this about. And I bless everyone who showed up to here tonight, knowing that they are touched and inspired, and creativity rolls through their life, and love is there, and peace is there. And I make a special mention to those who are in suffering tonight, knowing the truth of their existence, and grateful for a realization of peace in their lives and healing in their families. So, with that said, I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Hey, before we sign out, don't hit that button, Sue. Do not hit that button. Could you play just a little bit of Supreme Inspiration, Ben? This one.
I need you to cover part of this foot.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
All right.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Rest in God.